After the ending of Crescent City Book 2, I was really looking forward to reading House of Flame and Shadow, mainly because of the crossover with ACOTAR that Sarah J. Maas hinted at the end of book 2. Now, am I satisfied with the crossover? The book? Let's find out. Now, this video is going to be divided into two parts. First is the spoiler-free section, then there is spoiler section. Let's talk about what I liked in this book. I enjoyed the side characters in this book and the role they played. Each character had their own journey and story and gradually merging into the grand finale. It was pleasing that every character received a satisfactory ending, but that is expected since it's Sarah J. Maas's novel. She never intends to kill a main character at the end. Never. The whole plot come together at the end. There were a lot of eureka moments in which you finally link the plot from book 1 and book 2 to the book 3. I enjoyed that a lot. I also liked the romance plot which was going on side by side with Rue and Lydia. The pacing of the book is actually weird because the first third of the book is a slump. I almost DNF'd. But the story picked up significantly afterwards, introducing numerous plot twists. But I must say, a lot of these twists came because our protagonist Bryce Quinlan just gambles and discover a hidden use of the different weapon she has. It's hard for me to buy those surprise schemes that Bryce pre-planned. I mean, it works for a character like alien Ashawai Glathanus, but not Bryce Quinlan. Certain scenes are convincing, but some came out of the blue. I loved Jasiba and finally got to know the full backstory, which had me intrigued from the first book. I wished she had more of a role to play in the whole series. This is a huge book considering the number of pages it has, which is not necessarily a bad thing, as there are a lot of plot changes in this one. Some of them are good and some of them are just absurd, which makes no sense whatsoever. For example, Ethan's fight with Singrid at the meat market. To be honest, I still don't understand what the hell was that about. At one point, Ethan is all about saving her, protecting her, and then he just killed her. I know he was stabbed by Viper Queen, but instead of thinking of a creative solution, he just killed her. Seems a little bit forced to me. Then again with Tyrion, the person was defecting and betraying queens left, right and center, then goes back to the same queen to demand help, and the subsequent admiration of the queen despite his disloyalty. It was absurd. Essentially, Ethan's character arc was built on an upward journey, no matter how absurd the journey was, but Tyrion's character arc was just annoying. It was like Maas does not know what to do with them and test how much one character can fuck up. I read this book because of the crossover and I was gutted when I realized I did not like the crossover. It was a disappointment on another level. Let me tell you, the first third of the book, that is around 300 pages, is dedicated to Bryce in the ACOTAR world. And I would have loved it if it was not so boring. They were just wandering around the tunnels and doing nothing. Freya was not even in the book and she was just mentioned like twice. And that too as a Rysand's partner, not as a high lady or something. Also, every character of ACOTAR only showed hostility towards Bryce. I don't know, I was expecting more in this crossover and I did not get that. It might not be same for you. According to me, crossover seemed like a good idea, but Sarah J. Maas's creativity just died there. As we like to say, the potential was there, but the execution much left to be desired. I won't say it's one of her best books, but it can be read if you can ignore some of the glaring pit holes. I would give it a 3.5 or maybe a little more closer to the 4 stars, but it might be very different for you.